Hey, hi, and hello, everybody. Mr. Price here, walking you through the Musical Mood project. This is going to be hopefully the shortest of these instruction videos yet, because this is going to be a lot of you being creative. You already know how to do everything in this project. I don't have to show you anything, but I am going to give you some tips on creative decisions you may need to make, and most of your time will be making creative decisions. So let's just get started. I keep saying I want to make these short, but the last two have been 20 minutes. So let's keep this one under 15, maybe even under 10. Here we go. Today we're going to learn how to affect the mood of our music, make our music different moods. Very cool. As usual, our two deliverables are going to be a .logicx file and a audio bounce file, just like it was last time. Cool. So if you, once again, I'm going to say this at the beginning of every project, if you have not read the chapter on mood in the Music Tech Made Simple book, you should do that. We're actually going to reference this particular example, one of the figures in the book, a couple of times, so it might be helpful to have that in front of you. In fact, go ahead and have that in front of you. Pull that up, pull up the PDF, do whatever you want there. And we're also going to be talking about the elements of mood here. So hopefully you know what all this is, because I'm going to go over it, or I'm not going to go over it in this video. I'm just going to reference it. So make sure you have done that work before you do this work, as usual. Okay. We're going to use logic loops and create a song. Importantly, though, it's going to be in the particular mood. Or save, name, and upload. And bounce. I didn't write bounce. We're going to bounce the project too. All right, lots of requirements here. 5 of them. 5 requirements this time. First one, 64 bars. Same length as the last one. So, should take you about the same amount of time as the last one. Maybe even longer, though, because we're going to be making some different decisions. 4 separate tracks, just like before. I wrote that we have multiple distinct sections. So if you recall, in our last project, which I wrote this great song called Trying Hard, I had multiple distinct sections, and I even color-coded them for my own benefit to tell which section is which. That is to keep your listener interested. If you don't do that, your song is going to be boring. You don't want just one thing that happens for 3 minutes. No one wants to listen to that. So multiple sections, right? Multiple sections. Multiple sections. Every project from now and forever. Multiple sections. Don't make it one thing. It's boring. Before beginning, you need to choose the mood, right? This is important. The whole point of this project is for you to choose a mood and try to achieve it, not to make a song and then decide what mood it is. So I'm going to say that one more time. Choose a mood before you start and then work to achieve that mood. And lastly, this one's pretty easy. Got to have a name. Give it a name. That's going to be basically a requirement for every project from now on. And as usual, if you're watching this video, you're one of the good ones. Thank you. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is decide what mood we're trying to evoke with our music. So I'm going to reference back to the text here where you can see our musical mood chart. And here's just a few examples. You can do anything you want. And all I want you to do is when you find the mood you want, reference to the closest one you see on this chart. This chart's just going to help us get started. But there's going to be a lot of different things we can do to affect our mood. So I'm going to go with a pretty simple one here and choose happy, just because I can demo that easily, and I'm trying to make this video very quickly. So I've decided happy mood. So you know what the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up Logic. I'm going to make a new project. I'll just do a software instrument because it doesn't really matter. I'm going to hide all this stuff and open my loops menu. We're making this primarily in loops again. So one thing I know happens with happy songs is that they are in a major mode. So I'm going to make sure that all the loops that I find are in major. If you happen to be doing a sad song, make them all in minor, or a lonely song, make them all in minor. If you're doing any of these other ones, it can be either or. Just pick one and stick to it. Don't mix major and minor. That's a no-go. No, don't do that. Don't cross the streams. That'll sound bad. There's no rules in music except for that. And even then, some people do that. But for us, let's avoid that. So that's the first easiest thing. And this is where I'm saying that this is going to be a short video, because I'm not going to sit here and make this project, because it's really up to you what you decide to do. I will give you the same little basic building blocks as before. So I like to start with drums, add in bass, harmony instruments, melody instruments, all of that stuff we talked about in the last chapter. One thing you can do to set yourself up is do what I already did. I chose the right scale or mode that I want to use. Another thing is maybe the correct, tempo. Tempo is not one of these, but in general, sad songs are going to be slower. Happy songs might be faster. So I might even come up here and increase the tempo of this particular track just to make it a little happier. So I'll come through, I'll start with drums. I'll find something that sounds pretty upbeat. Now that I'm thinking about it, drums are not in a mode. So when I hit major, I've pretty much taken out all of them. So I'm going to stick with any for now and then find the drums. And then I'll go back in when I add my other instruments and make sure that they are in either major or minor, depending on my mood. So I might just drag a few loops in here really quickly just to give you the idea of what I'm going for. I'll change this to major now. I'll put a bass in there. And I'm just looping, right? And just like before, I'm making my A section right now. I'm just creating the A section. Pretty happy, might be energetic too, whatever you want to say. So there's your melody. The only thing I don't have here is some sort of harmony instrument, but I'll leave it out for now. I'll add a fourth instrument in later. So that's my A section. And then you're going to continue building your song just like that, making sure you stick in your particular mood. A couple more things. You don't have to follow song structure here. That's a good one to shoot for, but you can use any structure you want. Just make sure there's multiple sections. One exception to that, I don't want you to go like A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B over and over again to make it seem like you just copied the same 8 bars over and over again. Not great. But it is important that your song has multiple sections. You can even go through and do what we did in our last project where we colored them different colors to signify the different sections if you'd like to. So that's another thing you can do. I'm going to real quick just go over, just making sure I'm not missing anything. I wrote down some more specific instructions in this particular one. But yeah, as you can see, they're really sparse because most of what you're doing here is just making music, right? And there's not a lot of rules in this one. So we're pretty much going to go back and forth. We had one project where we had a lot of rules, do this exact form, do this exact thing. This project has less rules. Be creative, make something cool. I'll give you the same little spiel I'm going to give at the end of every one of these, which is you have all of this time. You have 30,000 decisions you can make of loops. You have so many different things you can do and so much time to do it all. I want you to spend your time exploring the music and making the best music you can. Okay, so yeah, that is my spiel for this one. Real quick rundown on what you do when you're done. You've seen this before, but I'm going to do it quickly this time. We're going to save our project. We're going to call this one Your Name. Give it a name. The song needs a unique name. That's one of your requirements. Because we're doing the mood project, include the mood in there somehow. So I'm going to call mine Happy Chicken Time. Great. That's the name of my song. And then I'm going to put in the name of this project, which is Musical Moods Project. And I'm going to save that in my project files folder on my desktop, which you should also have, hopefully. Hit save. Then I'll bounce this. I'll go to bounce project or section. We're going to do another MP3. Make sure it starts at 1. Make sure it ends where you end. Mine's only 6 bars long. So yours should be significantly longer, hopefully at least 64 bars. We're going to keep all of these different things how they are. I'm just not realizing I might have showed you the wrong thing before. If you're on the MP3 bounce, make sure you did 320 kbps. 320 is what you want. Do not use BBR. 320. And then hit OK. It'll bounce. It'll do it in like half a second because it's a short song. Make sure it goes in your final bounces folder. Hit bounce. It'll be done. Close the project. Make sure you go back in and compress your Happy Chicken Time song. just so that you have a compressed file to upload to whatever service you might be uploading. There's your final bounce. That's the end of my song. Great. Yours is going to be longer than that. Awesome. Have fun making music. Thank you guys. See you around.